Good evening and welcome to MTV's news update for today, February 2, 2022. I'm Ashley Scotland. First, our top headlines. 2 dead in 4 vehicle smash-up at Mahaica. More training for vulnerable persons and women in 2022. Minister Indar defends increased inflation rates. And in sport, Cycling Federation pursuing home rules for cycling. Now for the news in details. Education Minister Priya Manikchand on Wednesday defended her ministry's decision to reopen schools for full face-to-face learning. She says face-to-face learning is crucial to recovering from learning loss. More in this report.
Education Minister Priya Manikchand, during her presentation on Budget 2022, bashed the APNU-AFC members of Parliament who had called for schools to be closed. Minister Manikchand pointed out the effects that the closure of schools have had globally, while noting it has been proven that online learning has not been as effective as face-to-face.
Sir, the highest number the ministry has recorded, more than 70 children pregnant. And Mr. Speaker, a particular secondary school reported yesterday that while its grade 10 has 130 students registered on roll, 5 have registered for CSEC. So when you come here with your wild, politically motivated calls to close the schools, understand that you are harming and hurting the children of this nation.
Minister Manikchand said her ministry has a constructive and well-equipped plan to support the recovery of learning loss after the doors of schools were closed for almost a year under the previous administration. All nursery and primary schools this year will have access to internet, electricity, and cable. Students will also be provided with all the necessary textbooks needed.
You'll see that one of the things they recommend, we're way ahead of the game. One of the things they recommend is that we consolidate the curriculum, that we shave off things that you do not need and keep the things you need for the appropriate level. This country, Guyana, engaged international experts and our local experts, and we've already done that. What we have to make sure happens is that it's being implemented in the schools.
The subject minister noted too, the government will continue to provide transportation to students who may require so, and also expand the school feeding program.
Because you would recall that we were told in 2016 that the cash grant was being abolished so that it could go into school feeding. School feeding was replacing the cash grant. And you heard the honorable member just now, very lyrical, from Lethem to Linden, from Babu John to Coven John. Babu John never got anything.
Minister Manikchand further criticized the APNU-AFC administration for discontinuing the Because We Care cash grant, which was reintroduced and increased under the Irfan Ali-led administration.
And all of you over there who don't want the people to get the cash grant and you want us to give vouchers, you are like deadbeat dads. You can't look after this country's children, and you should never be given the responsibility to look after this country's children. And the people will make sure that you never have the power again until you reform yourself, which you don't seem like you plan to do, to even sniff.
The education sector received a total of $74.4 billion in this year's budget. Rihanna Griffith for MTV's News Update.
2 persons are now dead and 8 others injured following a fatal accident that occurred earlier on Wednesday along the Mahaica Public Road, East Coast of Demerara.
The Ghana Police Force has confirmed the deaths of 21-year-old Christopher Bagwandat and 16-year-old Sharida Passad, who died during a 4-vehicle smash-up earlier on Wednesday along the Mahaica Public Road. The accident, which occurred around 11 hours, involved an anti-crime patrol in 4's vehicle, motor car, and a motor canter. Police says it was conducting traffic duties on the Zealand Public Road in Mahaicony, during which a motor car was stopped. However, the driver of the motorcar escaped. A passing anti-crime patrol vehicle then pursued the motorcar, at which time the driver of the motorcar collided with the force's vehicle and a motor canter. The canter was driven by Umesh Prasad, age 46, of Claymont, Legon, while the blue fielder wagon was driven by Derek Dixon, age 29 years, of Charlotte Street, New Amsterdam, Berbice, along with his 32-year-old wife, Okesi Lynch, and two children, Stephanie Murray, age 8 years, and Surrey Hines, age 2 years. Investigations are ongoing. Luan Williams for MTV's News Update.
You're watching MTV's News Update. More news on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Bison Windows and Doors is having a big New Year sale. Hurry now and save on aluminum sash windows with insect repellent, going only for $14,900, VAT inclusive. Available in black or white frames, tinted or reflective glass. Also at Bison's, buy 10 windows and get one bathroom window absolutely free. Offer available while stocks last. So hurry to Bison Windows and Doors, Lot 1228, Eccles Industrial Site, and save.
Looking for fresh, tender, and flavorful meat? Then check out Rossignol Butchery for steaks, burgers, sausages, minced meat, fish, and chicken. For a tasty, attractive cocktail, we have a wide variety of packaged deli meats and cheeses to decorate your platter. We also stock a wide assortment of canned goods, seasoning salt, sauces, and marinade, all in a highly hygienic, welcoming atmosphere with warm and welcoming staff to cater to all your needs. Rossignol Butchery, we meet your needs. 73 to 74 Church Street, Georgetown. Telephone number 223-00.
Fibertech materials are used in a multitude of ways, from repairing and fabrication of auto body, fishing, and household items. We have available various fiberglass mattings, resin, mold releases, brushes, and rollers for all of your repair needs. We offer technical advice and free training to ensure you get the job done. For further information, call us at 220-6907 or 220-9192.
This is MTV's News Update. Welcome back. A number of initiatives geared towards the empowerment of women and vulnerable persons are outlined in the National 2022 budget. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, described it as good governance. Here is more.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad said out of the $30 billion allocated to the ministry, $172 million is allocated for the continuation and expansion of training for women. She was at the time responding to opposition Member of Parliament Natasha Singh, who said the government was not doing enough for the vulnerable persons in society.
Tell us what is in this budget to train them to become employable. How will they ever leave an abusive home and become financially independent?
In 2021, $80 million was allocated for training of women to enable them to create their own jobs and provide for themselves or families.
It is envisaged that we will expand our training to cater for over 4,000 women to be trained in 2022. Mr. Speaker, it was not only about training, and it was not only looking at training in an abstract context. It was ensuring that whatever was delivered through training, it was relevant to niche markets and the demands out there.
In addition to training, a new facility will be built for children with special needs in 2022. The Sophia Dropout Center will also be getting a new kitchen and dining room as well as a recreational room. A new state-of-the-art culinary center will be opening in 2022 as part of the Guyana Women's Leadership Institute. $200 million has been allocated for a center where teenagers, young adults, and adults living with disabilities can look forward to more training to improve their skill sets. Homeless and indigent persons can also look out for programs and training, which will be done in collaboration with the Ministry of Labor. She assured pensioners of continuous increase in their old age pension monies. The pension monies have been increased from $25,000 to $28,000 in the 2022 budget, which will see $2.3 billion being delivered in the hands of pensioners. Luan Williams for MTV's News Update.
Opposition Member of Parliament Dorita Fernandes says there are records that prove there was an 11% increase in the inflation rate under the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration. However, Junior Public Works Minister Deodat Indar has since debunked these claims, saying there are valid reasons to explain such an increase. More in this report.
Opposition Member of Parliament Dorita Fernandes says Guyanese have suffered under the current government because of the increase in inflation. She made this statement during her presentation on Budget 2022. According to Ms. Fernandes, under the PPPC administration, inflation increased by 11%.
When this budgetary period ends, at the end of 2022, the PPP would have presided over a total inflation rate of over 11% in just 2.5 years. This is taken into account, sir, the projection from the Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh.
However, Junior Minister of Public Works Deodat Indar rubbished the comment, saying that Guyana is not the only country that suffered from increased inflation rates. He added, there are also global supply chain issues.
Inflation, again, this bunker strategy that the APNUAFC employs doesn't work nowhere. It seems to me that they stick their head in the sand to realities. Now you have an issue about inflation. What is driving inflation? Don't we know they have a global supply chain issue? Don't we know there's a global supply chain issue? When a container from China and from parts of the world that are producing goods used to cost $3,300 for a 20-foot container, now it's $20,000. Don't they know that? If they don't know that, Mr. Speaker, they should read.
Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh, in Budget 2022, has allocated a sum of $5 billion to cushion citizens with the increased cost of living. The Public Works Minister said Budget 2022 is well-rounded to cater for all Guyanese. Rihanna Griffith for MTV's News Update.
More news coming up on the other side of the break.
At Decor and Gift Gallery, we have comfortable and unique living room suites. Check out our bonded leather sofa or 3-piece recliner set and much more. Or pick a lovely dining room set to match your home setting. Whatever is your style, we've got it. Shop your living room or dining room sets at Decor and Gift Gallery today.
When reliability is not an option, you need a supplier you can trust. This skilled technician depends on Forfan & Mendes for heavy-duty tools. This landscaper earns a living using still equipment. High rates of production and recovery lead to this sawmiller trusting his operation to Wood Miser. Mothers trust the water filtration systems for the health of their families. Thanks to the automatic backup systems, you'll never be left in the dark again. Forfan & Mendes, offering you solutions you can depend on.
Modern Optical Service has made it even better by introducing its budgeted spectacle line, starting as low as $10,000 for single vision lens and $12,000 for bifocal lens, available in tinted or clear, complete spectacles at affordable prices. So hurry down to our main office at 316 Middle Street or Lot 14 Diamond Public Road opposite Demerara Bank. Enjoy over 60 years of eye care experience at affordable prices. Modern Optical Service, your eye care professionals.
Are you building or renovating your home? Then come to Beeson for a wide range of aluminum and UPVC windows and doors. Get from single hung sash, awning, casement, sliding windows, plus sliding and swinging doors. All our products can be customized and fitted with insect screens and are sealed tight to withstand harsh weather conditions. At Beeson's, we also carry commercial, glass and French doors, showcases, aluminum louvers, curtain walls, aluminum rails, plus sliding and frameless shower doors. So look no further. Visit our showroom today at Lot 1228 Eccles Industrial Site or call 622-4197 or 623-4197. Beeson Windows and Doors, built with pride in Guyana by Guyanese.
You're tuned to MTV's News Update. Government Member of Parliament Lee Williams on Wednesday during his 2022 budget presentation talked up massive developments for the residents of Region 7. More in this report.
Member of Parliament Lee Williams today lauded the proposed $552.9 billion 2022 budget, noting that it would benefit all Guyanese, including the Amerindians. The Cuyuni-Mazroni Region 7 representative says the budget will cater for the rehabilitation of the Parima, Iterengbang, Ekereku airstrips in Region 7 and the Karisparo airstrip in Region 8. Some $600 million will go towards this project.
Mr. Speaker, air transportation is very critical in the hinterland villages, especially Region 7 and 8, where they rely on aircraft to transport their basic food and medical supplies into their villages. And so, as I speak now, Mr. Speaker, there are food items and medical supplies lying at the airport but cannot be transported due to airstrip condition.
He notes, too, that more communities will benefit from the provision of potable water.
And in 2022, Mr. Speaker, $994.5 million is budgeted under Hinterland Water Supply Program, which will make provision for the new water supply system to be installed at Warwata, Philippi, Isemeru, and Tasurin in Region 7.
Several infrastructural works, including the rehabilitation of roads and bridges, are slated to be completed this year. Luan Williams for MTV's News Update.
A fire, which started around 8 hours 40 on Wednesday morning at an apartment building located on Middle Road, has left Naomi Roberts, who resided in the upper flat, counting millions of dollars in losses after she was unable to save anything. Naomi and her 2 children would now have to be relocated.
A fire has completely destroyed the top story of an apartment building located at 74 Costello Housing Scheme, Georgetown, after a 3-year-old started a fire from playing with a lighter. The fire started around 8:40 hours on Wednesday. This is according to Naomi Roberts, who resided in the upper flat of the 2-story building. Ms. Roberts told reporters on the scene that she was preparing breakfast when the house caught fire.
I was at the stove, I was frying egg, cooking. And I then saw my son on the bed with the lighter. And when my daughter told me that my son is with the lighter, the bed was already catching fire. So by the time I could have turned around for do anything, it was already in flame already.
She said as a result of the fire, she lost clothes, electronics and documents which amounted to millions of dollars.
When I ran down, because I ran down was to get water, was out of the fire. But by the time I ran down, they was already outside too. So they already started, because when they come down, so they was already outside too, so they saw it too.
When asked what would happen to her family now, Naomi said she would have to move in with her father.
I think I have to stay by my dad until I could work and build back the place.
3 fire trucks were on the scene battling the fire, and according to residents, the fire truck responded promptly to the call. Rihanna Griffith for MTV's News Update.
We now join Luan Williams for tonight's Court Roundup.
was today charged with littering in public places and was granted bail in the sum of $30,000 each. 35-year-old Vijay Basraj of Lero Souvenir, East Coast Demerara, and 32-year-old Joel Primo, a businessman of Success, East Coast Demerara, were hauled before Magistrate Alicia George at the Sparandam Magistrates Court. The charge was read to them separately and both pleaded not guilty. As a result, bail was granted and the duo will make another court appearance on March 22, 2022 for trial. The two men were caught on January 29, 2022, littering the Chateau Margaux, East Coast Demerara area. Meanwhile, after spending 4 years behind bars, Travis Archer, called Spin and Kill, was today freed of a murder charge after Justice Simone Morris Ramlal upheld a no-case submission and directed the 12-member jury to return a formal verdict of not guilty. Archer was charged with the November 3 or 4, 2017 murder of Jamal Monroe, which occurred at Black and White Bridge in Seafield, Sophia, East Coast, Demerara. During today's proceedings, Archer lawyer Lachmi Rahmat argued that the prosecution failed to lead sufficient evidence to prove its case. It is on this note that the judge agreed with the submissions and directed the jury to return a formal verdict of not guilty. According to reports, Monroe, 24, reportedly died while receiving medical attention at the Georgetown Public Hospital, GPHC, for injuries consistent with the gunshot wounds he sustained during an argument with Archer over a 32-year-old female shopkeeper of Deerfield, Sophia. The Court of Appeal will tomorrow render its ruling in an appeal filed by 50-year-old Balaram Singh, who was convicted of murder back in 2015 and sentenced to 80 years imprisonment. Singh was found guilty of the January 2010 murder of taxi driver Bomeshwar Sukhdev. After the custodial sentence imposed by Justice Navendra Singh, the convicted killer filed an appeal in which he is asking that his conviction and sentence be set aside. His appeal will be heard by the Chancellor of the Judiciary, Yonet Cummins Edwards, and Justices of Appeal Don Gregory and Rishi Prasad. Media reports are that Sukhdev was killed between January 19 and January 27, 2010. He was kidnapped and robbed of his vehicle. His charred remains were discovered in Mocha, East Bank Demerara, days after he had gone missing. He was reportedly shot to the head and his body burnt. In a caution statement given to the police by Singh, he admitted that he and an associate murdered the father of two. He told detectives that his associate shot Sukhdev to the left side of the neck with a .38 revolver and later dumped his body. The convict related that on January 19, 2010, he and his associate went to Georgetown. He said that while he waited, his associate returned in a white car driven by Sukhdev. According to the caution statement, they then drove to Agricola, where Bomeshwar Sukhdev was told to stop. It was then, Singh said, his associate pulled out a gun from a haversack he was covering and shot Sukhdev to the head. They then drove the dead man's vehicle to Eccles, East Bank Demerara, where they dumped his body in the bushes. They later retrieved the body from Eccles and took it to Mocha, where they burnt it. Luan Williams, reporting for MTV's Court Roundup.
We now take a look at tips for healthy living, brought to you with the kind compliments of Natura's high and low milk powder, distributed by Davies Variety.
What does Natura High and Low Milk Powder have? It is fortified with the extra goodness of vitamins A, C, D, E, and K. It is high in calcium, protein, and enriched with folic acid, all of which help to strengthen your immune system. What it doesn't have is fat and cholesterol. Natura High and Low. Healthy can taste good. Available at all leading supermarkets and groceries nationwide. Natura High and Low Milk Powder is not for infants 1 year and under.
Glaucoma. We've all heard about it. an ocular condition that could potentially take your sight if left untreated. But as dangerous as it sounds, is it? If found, is it a death sentence for your eyes? What are the causes and symptoms? And more importantly, what can we do to treat it? Well, to answer all of those questions and more, we paid a visit to Dr. Shannon De Silva, optometrist of De Silva's Optical, and she gave us all of the answers we were looking for.
All right, so quickly, simple question. What is glaucoma?
Glaucoma is a name given to a group of eye conditions that cause damage to the optic nerve, which is at the back of the eye. Glaucoma has different types. So if we're going to talk about glaucoma, we're going to talk about the types, which would be open angle, closed angle, congenital, born with it from birth, and low tension glaucoma, which is the 4 types that we'd be looking for. If we think about the eyeball and think about the eyeball as a ball, anything that's a ball needs pressure to keep it in that shape. Oh, really? Yeah, so basketball needs air in the ball for the ball to stay inflated, a football as well. If you take the air out, it collapses, right? So all eyeballs in all animals, not just humans, it has a jelly in there. And that jelly there has to be a certain quantity of it in our eye to keep the ball within a certain amount of pressure, like tire pressure. If your air tire is low, you have a flat tire. So we need the right amount of pressure in your eye, not too much, but also not too little.
So what are some symptoms of glaucoma a person should recognize if they possibly have?
That's a really good question. So glaucoma is known as being an asymptomatic eye condition, which means it has no symptoms. So you could have glaucoma and not know anything. I find most glaucoma patients are sensitive to light. They talk about a sharp pain at the back of the eye with bright light. You being extra sensitive to light does not mean you have glaucoma, I should say that. And I think this is why we say it's asymptomatic.
So what can cause glaucoma?
So glaucoma is mostly hereditary. So if you have a family member with glaucoma, this puts you at higher risk immediately. So if you have one member in the family with glaucoma, your risk goes up 50% that you probably have glaucoma that can develop or you have it at the time. So we encourage highly patients who have family members with it, grandparents, an uncle, an aunt, to get their eyes checked regularly because there's a good chance that you could have it.
You mentioned that it is hereditary, right? So there's not much you could control there.
Unfortunately,
right?
no.
Yeah, so I guess there is no way a person can prevent from getting glaucoma in the first place. Nothing
That's
a person
correct.
could do.
That goes for me as well because I have glaucoma in my family.
All right.
So I can develop glaucoma.
All right. So it's just luck and chance and a genetic lottery, I guess.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So if diagnosed with glaucoma, what's the next course of action? What are the treatment options, if any?
So if you're diagnosed with glaucoma, your treatment options are mostly ophthalmic drops, eye drops. Drops that are used on various parts of the eye to reduce the eye pressure, to either better the drainage within the system of the eye, or to lower or raise the eye pressure within the eye. If all of this doesn't work, many ophthalmologists, eye surgeons, then decide to do surgery to get the drainage and the eye pressure under control. It's just
so there is no cure.
There isn't a cure, but there's management.
There's management.
And if you're a good patient and you're going to, your eye specialist and they're managing you properly, then glaucoma. I have lots of patients with glaucoma. Luckily, they still have 20/20 vision. They can see, they can read the smallest print. And this is because we're managing the condition. You don't know you have glaucoma when you have it. So it's not something that you should play around with. It's something that you should be proactive about. So raising awareness on an eye condition like glaucoma, I think, is very important. So you don't find out that you have glaucoma too late. So, and again, because you have no symptoms, you could very well be in your car driving. You think that you have perfect vision. Because you can see up the road and read the license plates. not knowing that you have a relative with glaucoma who maybe have passed on and you didn't know their eye history, and so you may have it. So it's a good thing to just get checked. We'll give you good news hopefully, and then you'll be on your way.
What does Natura High and Low Milk Powder have? It is fortified with the extra good nights of vitamins A, C, D, E, and K. It is high in calcium, protein, and enriched with folic acid, all of which help to strengthen your immune system. What it doesn't have is fat and cholesterol. Natura High and Low. Healthy can taste good. Available at all leading supermarkets and groceries nationwide. Natura High and Low Milk Powder is not for infants 1 year and under.
The ISG and MTV's Sport Update comes up after the break with Jessica Calendar. Stay tuned.
You can be a millionaire by only spending $100 on a Daily Million ticket. Simply pick any 5 numbers from 1 to 26, or you can buy a quick pick for your chance to win the Daily Millions. Purchase your tickets daily, Monday through Saturday, to get a chance to win $1 million every day. So, feeling lucky? Then buy a Daily Millions ticket today. Remember, a ticket today could make you rich today.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Are you running around looking for construction materials? Well, run down to Lens for affordable, high-quality building supplies. We have the widest range of grade A floor and wall tiles in any shape, size, and designs. And all types of ceramics, porcelain glazed, and full-body porcelain. We stock the largest collection of large format tiles. Check out our porcelain slabs as big as 10 feet by 4.5 feet. Add a bit of elegance with our large range of decorative molding. Our line of PPG paints will give you vibrant colors that won't fade. With our wall and ceiling gypsum system, it's light, durable, and fast. So come down to Lens at 136 Cherry Street, which is next to Buddy's and Pizza Hut, for that 31 years of Lens quality.
Win big with Ultra Lubricants. Win a Toto backpack every week. To enter, purchase any Ultra Lubricants. Send us a picture of your receipt via WhatsApp to 604-5810. Winners will be randomly chosen weekly. Promotion ends February 28, 2022. ISG, the best opportunity to make the right choice.
The Guyana Cycling Federation is hopeful of having their own facility to develop the sport.
The Guyana Cycling Federation is optimistic that their dream of a home for the sport is close to realization. According to Federation President Lyndon Dowridge, the biggest obstacle was finding a location. However, Dowridge has identified a feasible potential location and will be engaging the Director of Sport on his suggestion.
We didn't make much ground in that initially because the new fire station was to be relocated from where it is at Stabroek Market Square to the Durban Park. But that project has commenced, and it is clear that the new fire station is going a little further down. That's between the sports hall and the old frequency management office.
This facility will benefit cyclists in a number of ways.
One of our challenges is that we have mainly road cycling in Guyana. And road cycling is not really a spectator sport. Persons, the general public, would just see the bunch fly by and then pass back. So they would not get a full understanding, they would not get to enjoy the entire event, as against if they were to just go somewhere, sit and see the entire event, all the cyclists going around several laps and then doing the finish.
This will provide an easier path for persons interested in the sport to take part. This will also benefit local sport tourism since the Federation will be able to participate in a wider range of cycling events and therefore draw regional participants in those events. The Federation has been looking to acquire the national park to use as a training ground for cyclists. There has been no progress in this.
Physical education teachers across the country are currently engaged in preparation for a series of competitive golf fitness challenges.
The Next Gen Golf Academy is running a competitive golf fitness challenge for physical education teachers across Guyana in collaboration with the Ministry of Education's Allied Arts Unit. Teachers from regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 will next be in action at the Wofford Avenue ground on March 3rd. This challenge was created by Kurt Brathwaite, Physical Education Officer at the direction of Lorraine Barker King, Department Head, in an effort to ensure that teachers are fully trained to prepare their respective learners. This is a historic year for the sport since, for the very first time, secondary school students will be writing the subject as their physical education elective for CSEC in more than 80 schools. A team comprising of judges from the National Sports Commission, physiotherapists from the Ministry of Health, scorers, and officials from the Ministry of Education will be working along with the teachers. This team will also be present at the event to ensure that the competition is conducted under the strictest guidelines. 22 schools were invited to be a part of the first activity, in which teachers completed a half-mile run, Russian twists using golf balls, squats holding a putter, and battle ropes before heading to part 2 of the golf challenge. The upcoming event will require participants to drive for accuracy, make 3 putts from various distances and difficulty, and golf an entire hole, with the best scores coming out on top.
The West Indies women are currently leading their ODI series against host South Africa and will be looking to maintain that lead for the remaining 2 matches in the series.
Deandra Doughton's career best 150 on Friday could not beat the rain, but her 19 off 5 balls in the Super Over sealed a rain-affected second ODI against South Africa. Hayley Matthews and Deandra Doughton smashed 25 without loss in the Super Over to hand the West Indies a series lead.
I mean, I feel that before the ball bowled, I told Deandra that I was running no matter where it went, even if it went to the keeper. I think for us it was just about getting as many runs as we possibly could. Obviously, with her smoking the ball like she did, it kind of did hype me up a bit and made me want to get in on the action a little bit. And I mean, yeah, it worked out in the end. We were able to get as many runs as we possibly could and have a really, really good Super Over. And yeah, happy with the result in the end, being able to get the W.
On Tuesday, the International Cricket Council, ICC, announced Matthews has progressed 4 places to 11th position in the ICC Women's ODI Player Rankings after a fine show in the first 2 matches of their 4-match series. Matthews, who grabbed 2 wickets each in both matches, is the highest-ranked bowler from the West Indies.
There are different individuals that are actually playing a part in terms of scoring, chipping in with couple of runs, and you know what I mean, it's not mainly a pressure upon one person. So I mean, like, as I said before, the girls are in a good space, so I think that we just need to continue what we are doing. That's the only way that we will actually get better at how we played yesterday, you know, into the next day.
In the first match was Deandra Doughton's career best 150, which went in vain as the rain washed out the match after West Indies posted 234.
It was really good to see us come back from that experience and, you know, be able to put in another good performance, even though it probably was a bit closer than we wanted it to be. I mean, yeah, it just shows a bit of consistency and I guess a lot of fight within the team as well. And yeah, hoping to go on into the future games and be able to perform even better and win even more convincingly.
The 3rd match in the series will be played on Thursday at the same venue, while the final match is set for Sunday. This series is meant to prep the women for the upcoming Women's World Cup in New Zealand.
Former Jamaica and West Indies batsman Easton Bull McMurray passed away on Tuesday after recently falling ill. The former Jamaica captain and West Indies batsman made his Test debut for West Indies against Pakistan at Queen's Park Oval in 1958. He played 13 Test matches and scored 1 century against India at Sabina Park in 1962. CWI President Ricky Scarrett expressed condolences while regarding him as a true stalwart. Manchester United footballer Mason Greenwood has been released on bail after being arrested on suspicion of raping a woman.
Mason Greenwood, who made his debut for Manchester United in 2019, was arrested on Sunday on suspicions of rape and assault, but has since been released on bail. BBC reports that the 20-year-old was arrested when Greater Manchester Police became aware of online social media images and videos posted by a woman reporting incidents of physical violence. He was then further arrested on suspicion of sexual assault and making threats to kill on Tuesday. Manchester United previously said the forward would not return to training or matches until further notice. It said magistrates had granted a second extension to keep him in custody until Wednesday, but he had now been bailed pending further investigations. Following the striker's arrest, video game developer EA Sports said Greenwood had been removed from FIFA products. It said he had been taken out of active squads in FIFA 22 and suspended from appearing in FIFA Ultimate Team packs and Ultimate Draft. Sportswear firm Nike previously said it had suspended its relationship with the footballer.
That brings us to the end of Sport Update, which was brought to you with the kind compliments of ISG. More after the break.
Win big with Ultra Lubricants. Win a Toto backpack every week. To enter, purchase any Ultra Lubricants. Send us a picture of your receipt via WhatsApp to 604-5810. Winners will be randomly chosen weekly. Promotion ends February 28, 2022. ISG, the best opportunity to make the right choice.
And that brings down the curtain on tonight's newscast. But before we go, here's a reminder of our top stories. 2 dead in 4 vehicle smash-up at Mahaika. More training for vulnerable persons and women in 2022. Minister Indar defends increased inflation rates. And in sport, Cycling Federation pursuing home for cycling. Category broadcast tomorrow at 6:30. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, where the news can be viewed live at 19:30. On behalf of our news and technical teams, Ashley Scotland saying stay safe and goodbye for now.